We have Skull Servants for you today. More Valmonica good stuff. Dynamorphia, and wow, the meta's looking interesting. Hey guys, smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on. I love my Winamat winners out here as we get to see a Skull Servant Horus pile of all things. Yes, this is the perfect combination of decks to kind of step into the light out here and kind of challenge some of your meta. Now, obviously, you do have a skill drain base to this deck. This is going to help, actually use the Horus control side of this deck, kind of keep your opponent in line. We do have two Fenrirs built into the main deck, citing the additional. That way you can actually pull it if need be. And your Skull Servant package is just going to be getting you basically, all the little free value that you need to produce some heavy attackers in here. And yes, we are using the Light Lord in here, which basically gives you this milling aspect. For every Skull Servant in your graveyard, you get to mill a card, which actually is pretty good. Most of these vanilla bricks have been kind of reduced, which is actually kind of nice to see. I didn't think anybody would necessarily figure out Skull Servants, but it's enough that you can look at this deck and go, wow, we have some pretty good figured out ratios in terms of things. Also post-side decking down here, I see that we have some Iron Thunders as well. We do have Ye Olde the Black Goat Lass. And one of the coolest things that I think we actually have in here is Rainbow Life. Now, this actually means that you would use this against Tenpai. If Tenpai attempts to do any of these little BS OTK things to you, you do the discard one, and then everything that you would take becomes a gain that amount of life points instead. So, if they're trying to slam you for the 18,000, well, you go from 8,000 and up to like 26,000. They're never actually going to attack you with this, but, it just massively is meant to prevent you from attempting to lose the game. Outside of that, though, this is an interesting concept. I like the idea of what we're attempting to do, and I mean, this was able to win its side event, and that's enough to kind of get some consideration to out here that maybe Skull Servants might be a fun deck after all for the meta. All right, next up we have more Valmonica for you. Now, we have seen a fairly decent amount of Valmonica stuff as people have been kind of looking at this deck and going, maybe we should reconsider some of the ideas out here. Now, the first thing that catches my attention in this is we have Disc Coliseum in here for Regulus. This gives you the access to actually put a negate on the field, and we are playing the Revolution Synchron in here. Because we're playing Revolution Synchron, this means we can actually play Ancient Fairy Dragon to rotate field spells into some searchability, so you can actually kind of keep things up and going. Obviously, the Valmonica field spell is kind of the thing that you majorly care about for a majority of your combo lines. Basically, I don't know, just kind of rotating this on into some extensions. You do see that we are playing the tunings in here as well for the Revolution Synchron. I don't really give too much of a crap about milling a card as much as you might think might be a little bit of an issue, but stepping on into a Crystal Wing, basically this whole little package is ensured here. If you hit the AFD into the Crystal Wing and then you have the Regulus sitting next to it, I mean, you have two forms of negation set up on your board, so whatever you're doing with the extra Valmonica stuff here on the side means that you can just kind of keep the gas up and running here. I also see that we also have triple Crossout Designator in here as well. This card right here can be death to this deck. You do have to remember you do a crap ton of searching. All right, and if a deck starts kind of put that pressure on you and start to say no, well, yeah, also Imperm can be very detrimental. It is nice to see, though, that all in all, in terms of combo lines, you're doing pretty well. We're also only playing one copy of the Versare, one Intervari, and two copies of the Dismarnia. Outside of that, I mean, Intervari and the Skeleta are always going to be three ofs. Those are literally the best cards you have going for it. And then we're playing one Chosen Melody and one Followed Rhyme. All right, I see you. I mean, you didn't expect to see Valmonica today, did you? All right, next up we have Dynamorphia. Now, I want to say there has been a decent amount of people out here approaching the Dynamorphia deck as a actual contender in the meta right now, because people do not know how to handle Rexstrom. Rexstrom has become one of these cards that you look at in the meta and you're like, holy crap, like, that's actually a broken card. The fact that Rexstrom is a walking, talking floodgate. Yes, when you're playing this deck, time is probably going to be your enemy about 100% of the time, because you're going to be sitting at about, you know, a nice 2, 3, 1 life points. And for people that have forgotten, you can still have 1 life point. All right, 1 goes down to 0.5, and then according to Yu-Gi-Oh rules, you round up when you're getting into decimals in terms of you. It's one of the older rulings that have existed for so long. That's why, you know, 25 gets halved into 13 because 12.5 rounds up. Soul of the Supreme King is also one of those cards that these decks have been using that has been extremely good for these decks. I mean, getting a free Zark on the field and then following it up with either a crystal or a, you know, a clear crystal clear, depending on which one of these 2 boss monsters that you need to put the pressure on your opponent, you'll be able to do very well. I also do want to give a shout out here to the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon man itself. Most of these builds don't even make an attempt to play the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon package, but because this deck is still going to be doing the passive, you know, turn 1 things that you're kind of used to seeing out here with these builds, you know, ooh, me set up this. Usually having a Therizia here to help you tends to be one of the bigger things, but you don't really have that with, you know, this build. If you do see a Therizia, you know, you are probably want to go down the Red Ice. Look, see here, look at that. Wow, we got double frenzy and double fencing. Okay. Hey, look, we got the Wannabe free value town. Well, I guess I'm just going to keep drawing these 2s here. Maybe I shouldn't play this deck. Okay. What else we got back here? We have some Unchained for you. Actual Unchained. I'm going to be honest with you. The way that things have been going as of late with Unchained, I don't know. I didn't expect to see it. It did have a regional win out of the remote regional a couple weeks ago, which was very nice. But most of the people that are looking at Unchained, they're like, why would I play Unchained at this point when I would have a better time actually just dedicating and playing, you know, something along the lines like, you know, Yubel. And that's fine. I mean, you still do see we are doing Yubel in this deck as well, or at least, you know, you're playing the Nightmare Throne for, you know, some of the little value that you get with the Fiend side of the equation. Don't underestimate, just because, you know, you're not really dedicating any big things to the Yubel slots in a deck like this, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to take advantage of these power cards and do what you need to do with them, because you most certainly will be able to do what you need to do. We are maining the Disaster. I know I hate the Brick too, but we're kind of at the point that you kind of have to be considering this. I do see down here post side decking, you do have Crossout Designeers in here. You also do have Nibs, and you also have Ogres. You're bringing in a lot more of the hand trap army to kind of ensure that you can do your thing for this deck. Also, I mean, because we can actually play Promethean, because we actually play the Unchained Soul of Shavara. That's a free fire revive. That's not exactly something that I would really consider doing in this deck, but having the free pop fire is pretty good. Also, the Doolittle Chimera. Huh. Interesting. Outside of that, though, Unchained shenanigans, they've actually kind of changed. The fact that, you know, you now have the Thrones built into this, you have the Dark Beckonings, you also do have the one opening of the Dark Spirit Gates in here as well. The options. And actually, that's pretty freaking cool to see. So I'm glad to see Unchained getting some love out here. All right. And we also have some Salamangreat for you. I will tell you that it has been very nice to see Salamangreat Charge actually getting some love in the current course of the meta. This card's actually been pretty good. I also see that we are playing the Burning Draw down here. Remember, it's always treated as a Salamangreat card, and then you get to draw basically equal to a Link monster's Link rating your opponent has. You know, a nice little Appaloosa that they just tossed up. Well, that's fine. All right, you just get fire locked for the turn. I don't really care about that all that much, considering the fact that your entire deck is actually frickin' fire. All right, we'll just take free advantage of the value that this card gives you. I'll also let you go second, which is maybe something that we hadn't really. Salad kind of needed massive resources in order to do the thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Salad can put bodies on the field like it's their job. It's just you got to start going down through the extra deck resources down here in order to start doing that. And if you really can't, it's kind of where your issue starts to roll in as to how to beat this deck. Also interesting to note, I see we are doing one Rivalry and one Rage and one Roar. Okay, we also have double Tack Talents built into the main deck as well. in case we need them. Also, only 2 signet minings. To be fair, we do have triple circle, which is just, if you're opting to play one more of this, I kind of feel like you're just adding in to the brick pile equation. Probably not the greatest thing that you want to be seeing here, but overall, not too bad. You gotta love the ideas that people are messing around with this week. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually looking a lot more fun. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.